predictions are now open. Again, as a reminder, best of 3, not a best of 5. Who is going to be this week's champion? We are here to find out, because spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the Peruvian Zerg player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the Mexican Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Latino America, representing Team Super. He just took down the Zerg Lord. It is Pacomike. Very intense series, might I add. But now he's up against a very different kind of Zerg player. Ryu. He's not just a Ryu. He's not just a Condor. He's not just Peruvian. He's also a Duckling. And you know what that means? That means I'm a little bit biased. But it also means that Ryu, again, he's a player who's a lot more willing to get into the mid game, a lot more willing to get into the late game as well. Based on what we've seen here tonight, we all know how much he's fond of lurkers and getting into lurker play, Hydra Lurker Viper, might I add, or sometimes even mass lurker, no Hydras, no Vipers. He can make anything work. And we saw him really excel against that hero style, triple Oracle into Blink Stalker. I say that quite a bit tonight, but Pacomike is a different kind of Protoss player, as we've seen. Game 1, he opened up Twilight Council into Dark Shrine. Game 2, he opened up Stargate Void Ray into Charge, right? Like, he's a very unpredictable Protoss player. And that's a scary thing, because Protoss, even though there is a certain popular meta right now, there are so many different ways to play, so many different compositions that you can go for. And Pacomike, like, he's always going to keep you on his toes. Which is why the antithesis of Pacomike is kind of Ryu, because we know that Ryu is impeccable when it comes to scouting. And this is why, because again, these players go way back, they've played each other countless times, and I guess in a way it's a good way to just keep you honest, or at least, try and keep you on top of scouting and making sure you know exactly what that Protoss player is doing. Meanwhile, massive shout out to Biweekly. Thank you so much for the raid of 29. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed your stream. Hope you enjoyed your cast. As I quickly check here. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the raid. Oh, right. I hope you enjoyed the BO Bash. Massive shout out to Biweekly. For those of you who don't know, who are already here, Biweekly is another caster in the StarCraft scene, and he was casting a show match between Future and Cham, an amazing ZVT between Latino America and North America. So yeah, check out Biwekly's channel, check out his VODs as well, because I'm sure the VODs are available on his Twitch channel, maybe even YouTube as well. That's me letting you know to upload them to YouTube. Oh my god. So yeah, thank you so much, Biweekly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Likewise, he's another caster in the scene. Thank you. Thank you. Meanwhile, if you're tuning in, we are here in the grand finals of Sentimiento Latino. Just like Cham, these players here are from Latin America. They are duking it out. Pacomike from Mexico, Ryu from Peru. And the winner is able to walk away with that much more money here. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, not a best of 5. The players have agreed because Ryu lives in Italy, so he lives in Europe, and it is incredibly late in Europe right now, and Pacomike agreed that, okay, we can play a best of 3 instead, just to make sure you can get some sleep tonight. Some sleep. Ryu was in full degen. As we do see another Stargate opener here from Pacomike, a little bit of a different response though, as he is getting his third base up and running, which is kind of iconic to that Blink Stalker opener, but that's not what we're seeing. There's no Twilight Council. Is this intentional? He's going double Forge. What? Pacomike being hyper greedy right now, opening up with double Oracle, going into a third base, going into double Forge, delaying his Twilight Council. He's crazy. And Ryu is about to see how crazy he is as he confirms both Forges researching. He confirms the delayed Twilight Council. My god. So So again, Pacomike being quite greedy here. Ryu gonna meet that, you know, droning up himself, getting into his own tech, Lair on the way, Evo Chamber as well. This is a little bit scary, don't get me wrong. It is gonna mean that, of course, getting into Blink Stalkers, which I imagine is what he wants to get into, is gonna be that much more delayed. It means that Pacomike can't be aggressive and out on the map. So Ryu can take advantage of that, and I imagine take a 4th base that much faster. I imagine cut lings and cut roaches that much more as well. And as I say that, there is that 4th. As we still see nothing but drones on the way, and this is what I'm a little bit afraid of, because it is Blink Stalkers. Part of me was thinking maybe he goes into charge instead, but no. It is going to be Blink Stalkers. But immediately Pacomike is also supplementing this army with more tech going into a Templar Archives. So yeah, he's approaching this in a little bit of a different manner. Again, very tech heavy, now working on his wall as well. A very greedy kind of variant of this Blink Stalker style. And Ryu isn't necessarily going to be looking to punish this greed. Not aggressively anyway. As Ryu, likewise, has been doing nothing but droning, nothing but teching. Hydra Den is on the way. A handful of roaches as well, just to be safe. But it's one of those things that because he knows that he isn't going to be in danger anytime soon, he can get away with something a little bit more as well. I'm curious to see if he's going to try and expand and take a 5th base from here, or who's going to move out. Going to be a little bit annoying. And Pacomike takes his own 4th. Oh my god. No rush, 15 minutes, let's go. Aye. Lurker Den on the way here for Ryu. So both players are just taking up as much as they can. Thankfully for Ryu, he does have an overseer here in the main base, so he has seen the Templar Archives. He's fully aware of how greedy Pacomike is being. Ryu also has eyes on the 4th base as well. So again, both players just kind of racing each other to that kind of mid to late game tech. Aye. We'll see who comes out looking better in the end, because we're going to have Storm, which is going to be ideal against Hydras. But does Storm matter if Ryu is going towards Lurkers? Again, Ryu with his Overseer, he saw the Templar Archives researching. He's well aware of Storm. And he's like, okay, I'll just go to Hive. Infestation Pit on the way. Oh my god. This is crazy. And this is why I started this game talking about how Ryu is more willing to go into the mid and late game against Protoss. You know, if the Zerglord was sitting here, he would have gone for like a 66 drone timing, 100%. He would have tried to have killed Pacomike. To be fair, because both players are so familiar with each other, I think Pacomike is only playing like this because he's playing against Ryu. He knows that he is safe to do so. He knows how much more defensive Ryu is as a player, so he can get away with this. So a little bit of metagaming, a little bit of mind games going on. Meanwhile, here we go. The time is now. Pacomike Storm is done. Blink is done. 1-1 has completed. 2-2 on the way behind this. We're fully saturated on 4 bases. Pacomike is now confident enough to push out across the map. Meanwhile, Ryu is still taking up a little bit more. Lurkers are on the way, but they're not ready yet. So this base is still under threat. This is going to be a close hold here for Ryu. My god, Storm already connecting with the main army. Spines are trying to do what they can. The first wave of Lurkers are coming out. We do not have any detection, by the way. And with no detection, Pacomike has to be so much more careful. He blinks on 4. He does focus on 1-2 Lurkers. We only have 1 Lurker remaining. And I don't know if 1 Lurker is going to be enough here. More Storms blanket the entire army. We have 2 more Lurkers towards the top right. Ryu barely forces the army back, but he needs more. Again, he was a little bit careless with some of his first wave of Lurkers. And the madman isn't coming home with his other Lurkers towards the top right. He's going for a drop. He's crazy. Speaking of drops, we have another drop here towards the natural base as well. He wants Pacomike to turn around. An observer meets up with the army, and because of that, the Lurkers are going to go down. Pacomike, he's uncontested. He forces his way forward. Ryu was a little bit too greedy here, a little bit too ambitious with these drops. To be fair, the drops are doing a lot of damage, but he cannot fight against this main army. It's just not happening. We have 26 roaches on the way. Roach is not something that Ryu wanted to make, but he's forced to. At the same time, everything is on fire here across the map as well. Lurkers in the main, Lurkers at the natural, Lurkers at the 4th base. And with these reinforcing roaches, Ryu may be able to hold on. I'm also a little bit shocked. Pacomike may have killed the third, but the fourth is still alive. The fourth is relatively unscathed. I'm shocked. There we go. We have reinforcing charges coming in though as well. Oh god. Ryu starts stepping his heart out, and it's possible that Pacomike can still get this fourth. Yeah, Ryu knows he has to give it up. Meanwhile, Lurker's still wreaking havoc across the map. 25 probes have gone down. Ryu ahead in the workers, and Ryu saves his fourth. He holds on. Oh my god. Meanwhile, there's basically zero mining happening right now because of the high ground as well. Pacomike, he has zero income. He has no mining. He has a couple of gas probes, that's it. He was able to keep his workers alive though. So let's not get too crazy. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Now, finally, he can resume mining. Everything was forced back home. And Ryu lives. He lives with a hive. He lives with lurkers. He lives with a fourth base. Things are still okay for our Zerg player. Like, things are looking devastating, not gonna lie. But the decision to go for those drops, I thought Ryu was gonna be punished for it, and he kind of was. But at the end of the day, it feels like Ryu came out on top. It feels like those drops were worth it. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Ryu, again, recognizing that he's still kind of licking his wounds. He's throwing down side defense towards the southern side, and I imagine north as well, trying to make sure he's able to hold on to his bases, going for nothing but lurkers once again. No Vipers despite having that hive. And we'll see if it's going to be enough. Bearing in mind, we do have that detection. Bit of a roach run by headed across the map. Don't know if they're going to really do too much here. Ugh. This Pacomike is pushing in, and oh yeah, Ryu knows that he just doesn't. He's spread a little bit too thin. The base is going to go down. At the same time, the roach run by doesn't do much either. So a great move out here by Pacomike. Again, Ryu just didn't have any map vision. He didn't know where the army was, so he was spread too thin between all his bases. His third base, though, looking pretty heavily fortified. But can he regain that fifth? Meanwhile, that one roach from earlier is actually dealing damage. Actually gets 2 probes in total. And now things are, again, calming down a little bit here for Ryu. A little bit oversaturated here at his third, I'm sure. Sorry, yeah, at his third. I'm sure waiting to get his fifth back up and running. Working towards groove spines, more hydras on the way. I imagine we're going to be getting some Vipers at some point. More concerned with Mass Lurker, though, for now. I don't blame him. Army has been spotted. Ryu going to rotate over to meet him. A bit of a run by being set up on the left-hand side as well. Again, I don't think Ryu can be broken anytime soon. It's all about whether or not he can establish another base, right? I think that Pacomike, looking at his vision, he actually hasn't spotted that Ryu is trying to expand towards the top right. He should be aware of that, but he is allowing that to get up. Focusing more on just clearing up all this creep, denying the vision here of Ryu. Making it that much harder for him to keep up with the army. Pacomike now maxed out and looking to transition to Skytoss. Oh my god. 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon are on the way. Meanwhile, a bit of a lurker run by here. Just runs past all the cannons. Nice, so much mining. And I'm a little bit concerned here for Pacomike. Because we have a Nidus in the main base, and I don't know if Pacomike has really recognized that. He's going to try and force himself in towards that fourth base instead. Storms are going to try and hinder the advance of the lurkers, which is great for now. But again, what about his main? And what about the Stargates? Because they are so exposed. That Skytoss transition is not going to happen. No way. Pacomike, his army crumbles before the might of all of these lurkers, and you know what? As soon as they defend, they go into the Nidus and they go across the map. carriers, they're not coming out, mate. There is no Skytoss transition. Ryu has plenty of time to get his Spire up and running, to get into Corruptors, because right now he just doesn't need them. At the same time, a bit of a Zealot run by here is going to hit the 4th base of Ryu, but there is plenty at home to defend. The main army turns around, though. The 3rd is going to go down. Ryu, once again, being spread thin. He cannot hold on to his bases. He's in the main, but he has to make a choice. Does he stay in the main, or does he turn around to save his economy? And he just goes further. He commits. He's gonna try and hold on to his 5th with his reinforcements. This may be a mistake. I don't know, man. 5th is gonna go down. Ryu knocked down to 3 hatcheries. But to be fair, Pacomike is also on 2 bases because those 2 lurkers from earlier took down the 5th. Sorry. Oh my god, and they're gonna keep going. 1 lurker is sometimes all it takes. No fear, Papi, no fear. Again, there's a reason why they call him the Lurker King. Who needs Vipers? Nah, mate, just mass lurker. There is a pretty sizable army here at the natural base of Pacomike, so Ryu has to be careful, but he can always just back off and just run back into the Nidus. Gets away in time. 19 probes are going down. Ryu, his economy is in shambles, but so is Pacomike's. So it's okay. God, this is so scrappy. Pacomike desperately wants to go into Skytoss, by the way. Fleet Beacon on the way. Another 3 Stargates here at a more defended location. And this is still so difficult to call. Again, Ryu intends to end the game before Skytoss, before the carriers, and I think he can. It's gonna be close. There we go. Another Nidus coming out here. Pacomike out of position. We may see another pseudo base trade. Ryu has control of the watchtower. He sees the army. Oh god! Oh no! And Pacomike commits. Yo, I don't know about this, mate. The storms are going to do a lot of damage, and he's actually breaking through. We need some blinding clouds. And we don't have them. So many lurkers go down. The 3rd is going to go down as well. That's a kill, not a cancel. But the lurkers, they retreat into the Nidus, which means they can go across the map. He thinks about it, opts not to go for it in the end. This is still so scrappy. Gets an immortal. God, so many lurkers died in that engagement. Like, we needed the Vipers, but they just weren't ready. They still aren't ready. And the scary thing is, we have carriers. But we also have a Spire. But we have 3 carriers being produced at a time, and that may be the nail in the coffin. Like, Pacomike, his economy is still getting up and running. Ryu, because of the desperate situation, he's going for the gold. Nidus gets cleaned up. We gotta go to the units tab. All right, what are we working with? We're working with 6 lurkers, 3 Vipers, 6 Hydras against 3 Immortals, 4 Archons, and 4 Carriers. And that carrier count is getting even higher. So the carriers are like a blessing in disguise. Carriers are good in high numbers, especially when they hit critical mass. But because of Pacomike's economic situation, he doesn't have a lot of minerals. There's a world where even without Corruptors, Hydras could just kill all the Interceptors, and Pacomike may not not have an army. Like, there's a world where that can happen. Meanwhile, Pacomike is headed towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It looks like Ryu is going to barely scout this with the Overseer. He's going to rotate with the rest of this army. This time, the Vipers are ready. This time, they have energy. They can Blinding Cloud. They can Abduct. God, how are we going to do this? We have a Blinding Cloud. It misses the army, though. Feedbacks do connect. Vipers don't come into play at all, but because of the lurker position, it looks like Pacomike is forced back. At the same time, we have a couple of lurkers here, once again denying mining. I love the drop a lord play. Drop, puppy, drop, drop, drop. Oh god. Oh, drops just in time. Again, Pacomike stuck on this one base mining. And Ryu, he's going for corruptors. He gets the gold, which will help, don't get me wrong, but he needs to get another one of these hatcheries up and running. Lurkers get cleaned up. These are expensive losses here for Ryu, and Pacomike is starting to take control of the map. He's starting to skyrocket in supply. Losing those Vipers earlier was so crucial. Now we're up to 4 carriers. We have plenty of energy for Storm as well. I don't know if it's a hard call to make. Ryu just needs time, but like the more time that he gives himself, the more time that passes, like sure it's better, it's good for Ryu, but it's also better for Pacomike because he's actually got these fresh mining bases, for the most part fresh. As he expands here towards the top right as well. So it feels like Pacomike is benefiting more from this. His army is also pretty terrifying as well. Like, he has minerals to facilitate for interceptors. He has Storm. Storm is probably the most important part. He has Archons to tank for the Lurkers as well. He has the most ideal army. And Ryu hasn't replaced his Vipers. He's still only working with one. And yeah, this base is just going to go down. Ryu's trying to take the fight. He's pushing on forward. I love the way he's using his Lurkers combined with these Queens, keeping them all alive. Yoinks one carrier. Oh. Gets a carrier for one Hydra. He barely keeps the Viper alive. Despite there only being one Viper, he's putting in a lot of work. Pacomike has maxed out. He's getting another base up and running. His economy is flourishing. Ryu's is barely limping across the map. Maybe if given enough time, he can make this work. Maybe. Another push here towards one left. I love this here from Ryu. He targets down the observers, so the Lurker's able to barely hold on, but at the same time, another kill, not a cancel on the right-hand base. We see an adduct. Oh, God. And these Queens are the real MVP. That's crazy. It's one of those things where even though Ryu was down in supply, like, his supply was essentially doubled because of the transfuse. He's still fighting. He's still in this. Likewise, because he focused down that observer, that meant that the Lurk was able to clean everything else up here on the bottom left. Like, Ryu was doing so much with so little right now. It's crazy. It's one of those things, though, where even though Ryu did trade a little bit more efficiently, oh my God, can he get another carrier? Oh, barely. He gets it. For one Hydra. Again, these little mistakes here from Pacomike are being punished. Ryu trying his hardest to make this work. Oh no! Be careful not to get caught out. Looking for another adduct. Gets an Archon. One Archon for one Hydra. Again, good trade. Pacomike can afford this. Like he has a bank. He can just rebuild everything that he loses, and Ryu can't. Ooh. Speaking of, a couple more abducts. Feedbacks were okay, but just barely not in time. God, like Ryu is so efficient with this army. It's crazy. It's insane, Bobby. It's insane. Pacomike trying to take another base. Ooh, meanwhile, Ryu gets caught out. A bunch of Hydras go down. And he has to be so careful with his army movement. And the immortal count was kind of reset earlier, so we do see the Pacomike's trying to rebuild them. A couple of immortals get caught out here. Do we even have enough energy for an... Oh, we do! I was like, can we even abduct here? Looks like we can. We get an immortal, get an Archon. God, these Vipers doing so much for Ryu every time. Even here, killing some interceptors. Gotta be careful. Baits out a storm. Massive Zealot Runway though, because this base was, oh my god, because it was weakened from earlier, the base will go down. Oh, brutal. Here we go. Pacomike is pulling the trigger. Once again overextending though. Like Pacomike's been a little bit careless with his army control from time to time. It's another immortal. Sure, it's 2 abducts, but kind of worth it in the end. Oh, kind of worth it, but another hatchery goes down. Not just a hatchery, but also a lurker. Ryu forced to double expand. Every single base has been taken, by the way. Mate, there was a point here where Ryu was down like 50 supply, by the way. He was down 50 supply against a Protoss player. I'm like, I was counting Ryu out, but now Ryu is leading. How? Like, he's just been so careful and so cost efficient with his army, but now he's a little bit out of position. His Vipers are so far back. Pacomike has had enough. He's pushing in. Ugh. 2, 3 lurkers go down. Seeing the ducts. Target fire not quite there. Ryu panicking a little bit. He does get 1 carrier. Only 1. The bases just keep getting denied by these Zealot Rumbais. And even here, like, we can't afford to lose these lurkers. And because of this base, like, Pacomike, he can just keep sending more and more waves of Zealots. Like, his economy is crazy right now. Like, Ryu's fighting better, but how much better can he really fight? We'll find out. What's also impressive is that Ryu has been doing this with 0-0 upgrades on his Corruptors. That's insane. Here we go. Finally, Ryu counterattacking a little bit here. 1 lurker and a dream. Is actually going to deny a lot of mining. Meanwhile, the main army is going to take another lurker and take down this base of Ryu. Ryu is being starved out right now. Oh, good. Have a couple of yoinks. 2 carriers are going to go down, but where are the lurkers, puppy? Where are the lurkers? They're not here to zone away the Corruptors. Sorry, the Archons. The Corruptors are going down, and this may just be it here for Ryu. He was fighting his heart out, but without the power of the lurkers to support his army, it's not going to be enough. GG gets called. And Pacomike takes the first game. Oh my god, that was insane. Ryu almost brought it back. He almost brought it back. Oh my god. But again, he was losing a couple too many lurkers too carelessly towards those final moments. Leading up to that final engagement, he lost like 5 lurkers. Ugh. And without them, those Archons went uncontested. GG. Ryu just couldn't get another base up and running. And after 28 minutes, 29 minutes, Pacomike, he takes the first game. GG. Oh my god. I'm catching up. Oh, hello, Logic, hello. I'm still drunk. I didn't sleep. Logic, what? Funada Logic in the chat. Oh my god. Shaking my head. Going full degen on us, mate. Here we go. After a very long game 1, we are diving into game numero dos. And my heart goes out to Ryu. Like, Ryu was fighting so well towards the end. Like, despite being down in supply, despite being down in economy, he was straight up fighting better. He was straight up fighting better than Pacomike. He was making less mistakes, but any mistake that Ryu did make mattered that much more because he didn't have the economy behind it to support that. So in the end, he eventually was whittled down and Pacomike takes the first game, but that was only game 1. We are now diving into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Moondance. We have the Mexican Protoss player representing Team Super. It is Pacomike. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Moondance, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, fighting his heart out in game 1, fighting so hard, barely not making it. But here he is in game 2. It is Ryu. God, that last game was insane. It was crazy. Oh my god. There were so many levels of that game as well. You know, we started off with diving into just mass lurker, going for drops all over the place, but at the same time Ryu just couldn't hold on to his bases. Bearing in mind, this all started with just mass greed from both players, where Pacomike started with double forge. He went double forge, Twilight Council, Templar Archives, 4th base before making like a 4th gateway. Like, he was so greedy. At the same time, Ryu saw that, he scattered all of it, and he's like, I see your greed, I'll raise you one. And he kind of met him there, but couldn't hold on to his own 5th. I don't think Ryu ever had a 5th base, like, comfortably mining that game. He was never able to hold on to it. At the same time, though, he was also counterattacking with Dropper Lords, with Niduses, you know, hindering the economy, taking down the Stargates. Like, Ryu was fighting his heart out. It was a sight to behold. But alas, Pacomike was able to come out on top in the end. We'll see where things take us in game number 2. As so far, pretty standard openers, but Pacomike has something else in store for us here in the top right hand corner of the map. The probe is staying here. Cybercore is about to finish up. Are we feeling a proxy Stargate or a proxy Twilight Council? Top right hand corner of the map is pretty far away, relatively close by air, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is where we hide something like a Twilight Council, like something like a Dark Shrine. There is a Twilight Council, mate. Proxy Dark Shrine. Animal. We have a standard hatch gas pool opening here from Ryu. What we expect to see. I'm going to be moving out across the map with his Lings, trying to scout and figure out what is going on. And again, Pacomike just diverging from the norm. It's what he does best. Looks like these slowlings are barely going to be able to get in. And this is a pretty important scout because Ryu is going to get in and he's going to scout the Twilight Council opener. So suddenly, oh, he sees it researching as well. Is this real? Is the question, because we actually don't have a pylon towards the top right. So I guess so. Pacomike, he pulls out a gas. It's not going to be for a Dark Shrine. It is going to be for a charge all-in. 0 gas being mined right now. Pacomike, 100 gas is all you need. And Ryu doesn't know. He has an Overlord, don't get me wrong. And he is going to go into the main base. And this is a pretty important scout. If he gets into the main, if the Stalker doesn't stop him, seeing the lack of gas is a massive tell. That's all he needs to know. He's going to try and dip in. There is 1 probe mining gas here on the right-hand side, but 0 on the left. 2 Lings slip into the main base as well. He sees the gateway explosion. Ryu should 100% know that it's a 2-base charge all-in. Thankfully for Ryu, we do have a Roach Warren on the way. You know, he does have his 3rd base. There we go. Spine Crawlers are being thrown down. He has to be prepared to give up his 3rd and hold here at the natural. Also confirms that the pocket base hasn't been taken. It is, again, 2 bases. Top right is being used only for a proxy gateway. Oof. I also appreciate that Ryu even has a spore in his main just in case he needs to make use of it. just in case it is a proxy Dark Shrine. And we'll see if he can hold, because he had 2 spines earlier, but he switched to 1. Pacomike, he knows he got scouted, and he's pulling back into gas. Again, Pacomike respecting Ryu right now. He knows that because he got scouted, the likelihood of a charge all-in working isn't that high. Not anymore. So he's pulling back into gas, he's throwing down a forge, he's going for a 3rd base. He knows that this won't kill him. Or it shouldn't kill him. Charge shots rock up. They do get a kill on one of these queens. Well, again, we have more roaches where that came from, more queens where that came from. We have a spine to fall back to, but a lot of roaches are going down. And it's one of those things where maybe Pacomike should have committed to the 2-base all-in, because maybe it would have worked. So far, Ryu doing a decent job at kiting here, keeping all of his drones alive. And in the end, he will clean this up. Can he hold on to his 3rd, though? It looks like he barely made. Does he have enough energy for 1 more transfuse? The 3rd, it's going to go down. 1 more transfuse does end up going, but with the reinforcements, it's too much. The 3rd hatchery falls to the charge lots. Oof, and that is a brutal loss. Ryu has to double expand from here. And again, thankfully, Ryu didn't overreact to the defense, but it just barely wasn't enough to keep his base alive. He goes in for a follow-up scout with Overlord speed, confirms the double forge, that we have continued gas being mined, that the 3rd base. Okay, he knows that Pacomike is transitioning into Blink Stalkers. He also saw that the Twilight Council was researching as well. So the game moves on from here, but again, Ryu did take a little bit of damage early on. Going straight into his lair. And we'll see where things progress from here. Another interesting thing that Pacomike is doing a little bit differently is that he is going into a faster robo. So this could mean that he wants to start immortal production early, anticipating that Ryu wants to go into lurkers again. It is possible. It is possible. As Ryu is doing something a little bit different. Instead of rushing into Hydras like he usually does, he's actually going into +1 melee and roach speed instead. Okay, so Lingbane Roach Ravager, it looks like that's going to be on the tables here. And to be fair, that isn't a bad composition. You can be more aggressive faster. It looks like he wants to maybe punish the greed here of Pacomike, recognizing, you know, like the upgrades that are coming out, the tech that's coming out, the 4th base that's on the way. Ryu wants to be the aggressor this game, as opposed to the last one. I spilled my coffee watching this. I'm so sad. Ah! Baby links, please. Oh boy. All right, even going for a Spire. I love this. Like Ryu, he's the one completely changing gears here, as opposed to how he's been playing the entire day, going into lurkers. Showing that again, Ryu isn't a one-trick pony. You know, he may be stylistic, but that doesn't mean that he's forced to play one style every time. Oh boy. Here we go. Pacomike pushing out with a bit of a 1-1 timing. So 1-1's already done, 2-2 halfway done as well. He's been chronoing them out relentlessly. It's actually crazy how powerful these Blink Stalkers are going to be. Thankfully for you, +1 melee will finish up in time for this, but does he have enough to defend? He has 31 Lings on the way. Biles almost actually barely connecting with those sentries. But this upgrade timing from Pacomike may just be a little bit too good. A couple of overlords being targeted down, the base itself looking to get a little bit lower. We have a little bit more energy for maybe 2 more force fields. So Ryu is going to be able to find his way in. The Lings are coming out. Ugh. And it looks like with the reinforcing Lings, Ryu may barely have enough to force this all the way back. The Prism is honestly getting a little bit exposed. The Queens are getting on top of it. Prism unsieges just in time, and Ryu may have lost 9 workers, but he holds onto the base itself. And his upgrades are able to kick in. He chases this pretty far off of creep though, and he's going to be punished for that. Getting a little bit overzealous. He still defends nonetheless, and Ryu is trying to get into mutas. Again, another way to harass across the map. Looking at these bases, we don't have any cannons, we don't have any shield batteries, we have only one shield battery at the fort. So these mutas are going to do a lot of damage. The question is, can he defend at the same time? Ugh. Yeah, because Pacomike, he smells weakness. The Ravagers are being targeted down one after the other. We have the aggressive link forward as well. The mutas may be forced to defend at home. No, they still commit and they go across the map instead. And the mutas, again, are going to wreak havoc, but there's not enough at home to defend. GG gets called. Pacomike with the 2-2. Oh my god. Is just a little bit too much. I don't see other Protoss players do it quite like Pacomike, but he takes game 2 and the entire series. Wrong button. Ah, there we go. GG, well played. I was really concerned. Like, I was happy to see that Ryu wasn't rushing up into Hydras. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna focus all of our resources here on Roach Ravager. But instead he went for a Spire. And to be fair, if he had defended, like, the mutas would have been uncontested across the map 100%. But 2-2 Blink Stalkers, man. Oh my god, that's crazy. Like, they are so powerful, and you need to, you can't like try and get away with this tech when going up against something like that. Wow, it's one of those things where there aren't a lot of players that are playing like Pacomike, so I don't blame Ryu for not necessarily responding in the correct way or respecting them as much as he should have. So I don't blame Ryu at all for that. It was also a bit of a rough opening after losing his third. Like, it's always rough for anyone after losing their third. But yeah, just misreading the situation or misreading what he could get away with in the end. It's something that I think Ryu is definitely going to ponder over, and I think the next time he plays against this, he will have a better response. It's just something that Pacomike is doing, and again, I don't blame Ryu for not being too well versed against it. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Pacomike for taking down Ryu, being the only one to take a game from Ryu and becoming our champion for Sentimiento Latino number 137. Congratulations, Pacomike. Again, my condolences to Ryu. I'm a little bit sad, obviously, because he is my boy, but at the same time, I know that we all know that Ryu has been on a bit of a hiatus. He has been taking a break from StarCraft this past month. He only recently came back, so he even messaged me today, actually, before the tournament started. I'll read it out, because he was apologizing. Like, Ryu was saying, like, I'm sorry for not being active. Like, I've just been burned out, you know. It happens. And he was even saying, like, even today, I don't feel like I can play it 100%. But I'm gonna do my best. He was being, like, Ryu was very sincere. I was like, mate, just go for it, man. Like, I'm happy to see you back, and, you know, take however long of a break you need. Like, it's okay. And even though Ryu didn't feel like he was playing at his best, he still made it to the finals. And even so, game 1 was still insane. Like, I think everyone enjoyed themselves in game 1. Like, even though I'm a little bit biased and I would have loved to have seen Ryu win, like, game 1 was still very dynamic, very back and forth, and we got a lot out of it. So I hope he's not feeling too upset about the loss, and GG, well played. to both of our players. Meanwhile, massive shout out to Air Orange in the chat for subscribing for 9 months. Thank you so much, Air Orange. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat, but thank you so much. I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support. As a reminder, subscribers to this channel do get replay packs of these tournaments of Sentimiento Latino. So if you're interested, if you are a Protoss player or a Zerg player and you want to play like Ryu, you want to play like Pacomike, you want to play like some of these players, you want to get inspiration and maybe get some benchmarks for how you should be performing, then we got you there with those replays. Yeah, GG, well played. Also, congratulations to Sinner as well. Sinner, I just realized something. Shout out to Sinner as well, because Sinner did win the random raffle, and, you know, he was the highest placing Terran player in today's tournament, so at least he walks away with something as well. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. The players, the people in the chat, the viewers, the subscribers. I know I do. It's always great to see Ryu back. And with that, that is going to be the end of tonight's tournaments. Quickly looking over the bracket, that is the run that our players went on. A lot of insane PvZs tonight, and even a ZBT, something we don't get too often. GG. GG. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. I know that we haven't casted ESL Open Cup Asia in a long time, in a couple of months, but I'm going to do my best to cover that once again with a new co-caster. Yaku isn't available anymore for ESL Open Cup Asia, but I'm going to try and sneak Asher in. I'm trying to get him approved by ESL to cover that so we can cast ESL Open Cup Asia again. So if we cast that, that's going to be in 24 hours. If we don't cast ESL Asia, our next broadcast is going to be our Team League match against Platinum Heroes. Oh boy. We took down Team Super. Platinum Heroes is next on the chopping block in the semi-finals of Rakshir. It's going to be a best of 7, and it's going to be an intense series. Oh my god. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned. I know that Platinum Heroes are a very strong team, so I'm also excited to see how we perform against them. I know it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. They've got a lot of strong players, a lot of strong Europeans, but I believe in our boys. Oof, let's go. I see Viperino in the chat. Ryu is playing really well. Not the dominant Ryu we used to see, but really good. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm sure even Viperino knows, like, Ryu has been missing for a month, you know, and it takes a while to come back, but I saw some brilliance there, and yeah, I'm really happy with how he played. I'm really happy. CranKy casting next GSL. Kappa. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. With that, we are done here for the day. I was considering casting later on, but streaming later on my personal channel, but I don't know. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, I am a little bit tired. We'll see what we do. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow is ESL Open Cup, and tomorrow night is our Team League match against Platinum Heroes, so wish us the best of luck. We'll do our best. As always, our VODs are going to be available on YouTube, so if you want to tune into some of our casting but you can't tune in live, check out our YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We're all over the place if you want to be notified for when we go live. The least we ask is that you follow us here on Twitch, because everything happens here on Twitch. It's all on Twitch. With that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. We're going to give someone a raid. I don't know who is streaming right now. Another StarCraft streamer. I know Darking always yells at me. He's like, mate, when you finish Sentimiento Latino, raid a Spanish streamer. And I'm like, but they don't speak English. I'm like, oh my god. But we'll give our love to someone. Dave Testa. Ooh, maybe Papa Panda. I think so. So yeah, give some love to Papa Panda, because he is casting Magicup Masters. Sorry, Magicup Masters Cup. There's a lot of cups there. A lot of M's there. So yeah, he's going to be casting an amateur tournament, so give him some support. He is a great guy. He's a great friend of the CranKy Ducklings, so give him some love. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao. Ciao. Bye.